Hello there and welcome to Business Today. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko with Winnie Williams and Akochi on sign language. Hope you're doing okay. Well, besides that, President Museveni has been addressing the country on matters to do with the economic status as well as other issues of national importance. And he has as well highlighted the fact that the country is ready and it has the capacity to overcome the Ebola epidemic. So that is something Ugandans should not worry about. But he has called upon most of them to remain cautious. Now, here with your daily report, business reports that are making headlines across the business world. Kickstarting it off with the insurance appealing a tribunal. The financial services industry's foundational component, the insurance industry, is one of the primary drivers of the nation's economic growth. Now, also focusing more, the Insurance Appeals Tribunal has been formally established to ensure that the backlog of cases in the insurance industry is eliminated. Patterson Mumbere reports.
The Insurance Appeals Tribunal is established under Section 136 of the Insurance Act 2017 and became operationalized under the Insurance Appeals Tribunal Regulations 2019. According to Rita Namakaka Nangono, the Insurance Appeals Tribunal chairperson, any party to an insurance contract or third party with legal grievance arising from conduct by a person holding a license from Insurance Regulatory Authority may file a complaint with Bureau's Complaints Division. The complaint may appeal to the tribunal if he or she is dissatisfied with the authority's judgment.
The Insurance Regulatory Authority. If, for instance, you're a policy holder and you have a dispute with the insurer, maybe a motor insurance claim, which you're not happy with, you first have to go to the Insurance Regulatory Authority. They have a complaints bureau. And if the authority takes a decision and you're not happy with it, then you can come to the tribunal within 30 days. That's one category of the users of the tribunal. The others will be the licensees, the insurance companies, the brokers, the agents. If they are aggrieved with a decision that has been taken by the Insurance Regulatory Authority, then they can come straight to us.
Data from the Insurance Regulatory Authority shows that between 2016 and 2020, delayed settlement accounted for 19 of the complaints and disputes that the regulator received. Additionally, there were 24 complaints concerning life insurance payouts and 16 complaints about fraudulent premium returns. Alhaj Kadunabi Ibrahim Nuvega, the Chief Executive Officer, Insurance Regulatory Authority, says that the long-awaited tribunal will provide an accessible and alternative to any Ugandan dissatisfied with the decision of the Insurance Regulatory Authority to appeal than going through lengthy and costly court processes.
Complaints which have come to the Insurance Complaints Bureau, and what I can say, when you compare the number of complaints between 2016 to 2022, we have seen a reduction in the complaints which come to the Complaints Bureau. And the creation of the Appeals Tribunal is intended to ensure that for whatever decisions we make, we must be mindful of the existing legal framework.
As of now, at the Insurance Regulatory Authority, there are 50 ongoing disputes at all levels of insurance contracts. One has been handled in the tribunal. The second one is on the waiting list, while 24 are in commercial courts.
We are here to tell the public that please take insurance services because insurers are supposed to pay. If they do not pay, you have a place where to take your grievance.
So the circumstances around, and this appeals tribunal will look at the various complaints. There are complaints on fraud, there are complaints on delayed claim settlement, there are complaints on delayed commission payments, and many others. And all the decisions we make can be brought to the appeals tribunal.
In terms of insurance penetration, the latest annual performance report indicates that insurance penetration in the country slightly improved by 0.026% to 0.796% in 2021. In terms of asset base, the net assets for the sector stood at 832.6 billion. That's 30% increment from 640.6 billion in 2020. Net assets are a measure of financial strength and capability of the sector to absorb risks. Pedson Mumbere, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
All right, well, today representatives from the Djibouti business community met with traders from Kampala's core business sector to discuss additional potential in the Djibouti Free Trade Zone. We have more of this report.
Djibouti, a landlocked neighbor of Ethiopia, already has Chinese, the US, and the French naval bases there. As a result, it serves as a significant consumer market, notably for fresh produce, rice, and other viable products. During the meeting, representatives from Djibouti Embassy, including the Consul General of Djibouti in Uganda and the Ambassador of South Sudan to Djibouti, demonstrated to traders some of the benefits of doing businesses with Djibouti, including a relaxed financial policy, improved market access, a prime location, and a connected sea land air network, among others.
Those who want to export should be looking at the bigger market. As I said earlier, Ethiopia has about over 100 million people, and 80% of their cargo goes through goes through Djibouti. So our members who are going to Djibouti should be looking at the bigger market in the region and not Djibouti as a country, because they'll be trading in the free trade zone. If there's anything that will go onwards to the Djibouti market, that's fine. And what can go to Ethiopia will go to Ethiopia.
The Djibouti Consular General also noted that connectivity is the main obstacle and that they aim to work with Ugandan airlines to make trading easier between the two nations.
The challenge our business community is facing is the air transport, the costs of air transport. Because for the fresh foods, you have to do air transport. It's very hard to send cargo by road to Djibouti. You need refrigerated containers, which also come with a high cost. But as of now, there are a few individuals who are present in this meeting that are already taking avocados to Djibouti. The rice export to Djibouti from the farmers who are doing highland rice, it's ongoing. The volumes are increasing. So basically what is holding back the exporters is air transport onwards.
Djibouti's engagement is a blessing in disguise as Ugandans look forward to connections in the African Free Trade Zone.
This is one-stop center when you come in Djibouti and they set up your business in the free zone within the one single shop, and they can do all the things: visa, residence card, permit to work, license of the free zone, everything. So you don't need to go to the different area.
Some of the businesses emphasize the need for governments to step up in the efforts of the Uganda Free Trade Zones in order to boost trade across the region.
Only 2 containers, empty containers in a free zone area and sand. Everyone, I think, who knows Mutukula, you can go there. So please, Madam Honorable, I'm requesting you to advise these people that we are not enjoying our government because of them. They are good at telling lies. We need to work like the Djibouti. Now they are calling us to go and invest in their countries. But ours, you are here telling us you are working in a free zone authority, but you're not doing anything for us, and we cannot benefit from you. Next time, come with a serious business, because we don't want lies, though you're a government official.
Ronana Habwe, Business Today, Smart 24 TV.
Information Technology Authority, cyber fraud costs around 15 billion shillings in total last year. And according to NITA Uganda, the fraud largely targeted online bank transactions and mobile money. And in our coffee court today, we discuss more about cybercrime and how to curb this rising situation in the country, how to overcome it, and how to create a simple and secure space for everyone using the internet in the country. Let's have more in our coffee court tonight.
Well, the coffee court continues, and this is where we ask the critical but fundamentally questions that matter. I know many of you have heard of issues. My money has been stolen, my ATM has been stolen, somebody hacked into my computer and was able to send a few things. That more rotates on matters of cybercrime. My name is Fred Makulia. This is the coffee court where we basically ask critical questions, and most importantly, questions that matter. Mr. Emmanuel Jagara is an expert. He will be helping us digest matters of cybercrime and how best can we be able to handle this. It's a pleasure, Emma. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, and greetings to the viewers.
Cybercrime, what does this mean?
Cybercrime is basically crime over the internet. That is the simplest way I can describe it. So whenever we think about any form of crime that is committed using technology and using the internet, then we can conclude that that is cybercrime.
So it's theft that happens on the internet. How does this happen?
So it's not only theft, but it is way beyond theft. Stealing of your money, defaming you online, going online and bullying someone, launching offensives against another corporation. These are all forms of cybercrime. For example, if a certain TV wants to attack the image of smart TV, and so we launch certain fraudulent communications online, then that would still fall under cybercrime. So all of that, any form of crime, be it financial loss based or just defamation or anything in that nature, credibility questions, that all falls in the category of cybercrime.
Just to bring to your attention, dear viewers, of course, as we discuss cybercrime, there is already a new law, amended law, which we are just waiting for the president to assent to, and that is a law maybe that will help to govern some of these things. Yeah. So let's talk about the forms of cybercrimes in Uganda, particularly in Uganda.
Yeah. Well, so in Uganda, the biggest form of cybercrime that we're seeing, of course, is financial attacks, financial losses. But then we also have other forms of cybercrime, such as economic espionage. Economic espionage is where a certain company is trying to defame another company or trying to steal trade secrets from another company. That is what we call espionage. We have other crimes such as social media bullying. That is also cybercrime. We have things like defamation. I think that one I've already mentioned. If I hack your phone and I take confidential content such as photos, things that maybe you have done at your private time, and I make it public, then that is cybercrime. Any form of blackmail over the internet also falls under cybercrime. Issues to do with nation-state attacks. Nation-state attacks is where nation A has a problem with nation B, so we launch offensives online.
So it can go that far?
It can go that far. Okay. In fact, there is belief that the Third World War will be conducted over the space. So you are going to see a certain nation waging massive attacks on another nation, enough to cripple operations of the entire country. This actually happened as way back in 2007 when Russia waged war against Estonia, crippling the entire country for a space of 2 weeks. The country could not do anything. That is what we call nation-state attacks. So there are several other forms of attacks that we are witnessing. Any form of crime or offensives that are conducted over the internet, over technology, falls under cybercrime.
Let's be more specific on specific issues.
Yeah.
Just a few weeks ago, I received a message that somebody had withdrawn some money from my account. I have the password. I've not shared my password with any. How does this basically happen, since you are an expert in this area?
Well, so there are several ways in which this could happen. let me pick option number one, which is the most prevalent that we're seeing right now. Insider threats. And this is something that we have been pushing service providers to address seriously. You find that service providers, especially internet service providers, have staff internally who are conniving within themselves and external fraudsters to actually target certain customers. So if I know that you're a high value customer, you're seated with 10 million in 7 million in mobile money, 10 million in mobile money, we can actually connive to have it move out of your account. That is number one. Number two is that most of us are also very reckless with the way we hold our information. We trust so easily, and this is a big weakness basically with the entire humankind. We easily trust. So if you gave your password to your wife or to your son, to your daughter, and then that person maybe carelessly handled it, or yourself you carelessly handled it while doing a certain transaction, someone else sees the PIN and they're able to go ahead and defraud you.
That would be okay because this is my wife, this is my child.
That is not okay. It is not okay. Your PIN is your personal PIN. And this is where most people are falling victims. Let me give you one example. There was an old woman who actually used to send her son to always go and withdraw for her money from ATM. But then at some point, her money, the money was drained out of the account. So she goes, she was, while very infuriated, asked the son what happened. The son says, I have no idea. They go to the bank. When they are fuming on the bank, they check all the details. They find that the withdrawals were done within a certain time frame. When they went ahead to check CCTV footage, turns out it was actually the grandson who was withdrawing the money. So many of us have fallen victims to these attacks, and we think it is such a far-fetched problem. Yet it is an internal problem you're dealing with. They always say the enemy is not far. You see that?
The enemy must be there.
The enemy is always there.
Now, an email, I hold the password.
Yeah.
I will not share it with the enemy.
Yeah.
How do people hack into my system and be able to access these personal passwords?
Again, now let me introduce a new concept called social engineering. Social engineering is the concept where I can hack your system by simply getting you to give me certain confidential information unknowingly. All right? How does this happen? I send you a link, say a certain random link. You might be say they are looking for a visa to go to the US, or you want a green card, and you're praying one day you get that green card, and there's a link there to apply for a free green card. So you go ahead and submit your details. You have submitted your email. You probably also submitted your password. Many people do that unknowingly, with a lot of trust. That you have fallen a victim to what we call social engineering attack. Now, under that social engineering concept, there are very many ways in which I could get you to divulge confidential information. This information then is what I would use to launch an attack on you. By the way, many people, and by many people I'm talking about over 98% of internet users globally reuse passwords. Reusing passwords means the password that you have on your phone, on your online bank is the same on your email, is the same on your office email, is the same on your Facebook, the same on your Twitter. I know as I'm saying this, you might be thinking, yes, you have it.
That's true, but if I need to okay before, it is mine.
No.
Having as many of those would actually confuse me.
So that is also one of the challenges that many people face, and it is not okay. Why? Because if I have successfully hacked your Yahoo email, what are the chances that I could use the same tools now to hack your Gmail? Very high. So then it's not okay, because you have now created for yourself multiple vulnerabilities. If you're saying it's okay, let me ask you, do you have the same key that opens all the doors in your house?
Not at all.
Exactly. So the same way that you cannot have one key that opens right from the gate to every corner, that's the same way you cannot have a single password across all your accounts.
Manu, you seem to be suggesting that this is a global matter. It's a global issue.
It is a global matter. Cybercrime has risen over 600% over the last 2 years globally. Many institutions across the world, governments, are suffering the same way. This is not something unique to only Uganda. It is something that I would want us to know. However, The efforts to build the right controls is now what comes back to us. But true, it is not unique to Uganda. It's a global issue.
Before we get to the control, where does this leave economies like an economy of Uganda if all these continue to persist?
Well, cybercrime, according to the World Economic Forum, is now ranked among the top 3 biggest threats that economies have to be concerned about. For any economy that is embracing digitization, such as Uganda, definitely we must be concerned. Right now we are having over 55% internet penetration rate and over 65% mobile phone penetration rate. The likes of Kenya have gone over 85% already. The more we are relying on technology, the more we are at risk with the growing level of cyber threats. So definitely economies such as ours must now be more concerned, and we must start asking the right questions. How do we build the right security controls? Yeah.
But you say with the continued transformation in technology, but you also know we can't do our technology.
We cannot. We can't go back.
We cannot reverse back to where we have been. And now that is how far it affects the economy. The most fundamental question is how we deal with such an issue for a country like Uganda, which is a growing country.
Yes. So a country like Uganda, first of all, I want to let you know that Uganda is among the best performing in terms of building right cybersecurity strategies. Yes. In 2014, the African Union, under the Malabo Agreement, agreed to have every member state, the 54 members, embrace strong cybersecurity programs, such as introduction of security regulations, introduction of massive awareness and education programs, and also down there to enhancing technologies. So from 2014 till now, 29 countries have embraced and have put in place regulations. Uganda is one of the 29. In 2019, the National Cybersecurity Index ranked Uganda as the top performer of all African countries in terms of embracing and implementing the right regulations. We have the Computer Misuse Act, which is already in place, Electronics Transaction Act, Electronic Signatures Act, the Data Privacy and Protection Act of 2019. All of these laws have already been in place. So first of all, I think that is something that we are doing quite well. But then remember that laws that are in place without implementation are still in vain. And that is one of the biggest challenges that we are seeing within the country. So whereas there have been efforts in line with regulations, there are still significant gaps when it comes to things like prosecution. Even the capabilities of the justice officers in terms of litigation is still a big gap. The judges, are they actually able to adjudicate matters of cybercrime?
So these are critical questions.
These are critical questions. Do we have lawyers that can actually stand on the floors of court and actually discuss and litigate issues around cybercrime? Those are the gaps.
This is a legal matter. I look at it from the economic perspective.
Yes. I don't think it's only a legal matter. There is quite a broad element to it. But so what I'm trying to drive to is that there are several other gaps that I think, as you have asked, if the government can now focus more on ensuring that these are in place, if the laws are in place, can we then start having punitive action on people who are the cybercrime related cases? How many of these backlogs do we have in the CID office? You see, in line with cybercrime. Is the cybercrime unit of police capable of investigating these cases?
What do you think?
Those are the questions. I can't answer that. But what I know for a fact is that there are several backlog cases that have never gone to the state of prosecution.
8th September, Parliament issued this bill called the Computer Misuse Act.
Yes.
Now the President, we are just waiting for the President to accept it.
Yeah.
You think this kind of bill, once it becomes law, can be able to do something in terms of managing such issues in this country?
Well, so that is an amendment bill. It was not a fresh bill. There was already an act, the Computer Misuse Act, which was there since 2011. However, this was just an amendment. There are a few gaps when it comes to that amendment. I personally do not agree with all of the elements of that amendment, but that is something that we hope that can be addressed at the Parliament level. Of course, with maturity of these laws, then we can see improvements in terms of our cybersecurity capabilities as a country. You see that?
So in case these issues, I know you've seen videos on WhatsApp, and I have personally seen them, where somebody hikes into my mobile money and takes the money. In case this happens, what would be your advice? What are some of the procedures I should follow maybe to do a follow-up on such matters?
Yeah, so if your phone was hacked and your mobile money has gone and you're sure.
That's just an example.
Yes, yeah. So you're sure that your mobile money has gone. The first thing that you should do is to report it to police. There is a cybercrime unit and the CID office and several other, all of the police stations now know how to register those cases. After you reported it to police, then you go with that same case file and go to lodge a complaint at the service provider.
But that's not a process. Somebody is taking my money Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. By the time I get from police and I go to the company with
Oh, I didn't know. They are still taking it. Of course, the first thing would be to go and deactivate your SIM card. I think that is what I would recommend. Then afterwards, you have to register the case. Why I encourage registering the case is that it makes it easier for your matter to be investigated. You see that? So you have blocked your SIM card, you have registered your case. Then the next question is asking the service provider, why is my money moving? So this is now where sometimes it could have been your mistake. And to the largest point, by the way, most times it's actually our mistakes. However, on the other side, it could also be an insider threat, which we have seen growing cases, as I mentioned earlier, of service providers who are conniving against the customers. It's quite unfortunate. So now this is not something in your hands. Once the investigations are done, then we can know how to address it. But of course, the first thing is go and deactivate your SIM card, register the matter with police, then lodge a complaint with the service provider. Yeah.
Cybercrime still remains a very critical matter of discussion.
Yeah.
Finally, how do we get out of this kind of situation in this country?
Yeah, so cybercrime is a growing threat to many institutions, to many individuals. However, it comes down to basic controls. And once all of us are able to, first of all, understand, and that's why I'm happy that we can have such a conversation, if we can have more people aware of their threats, then we can have ourselves building the necessary controls. Number one, do we have the strong pins? Do we have passwords? Do we have multi-factor authentication? Do you share your passwords and pins easily with your friends? Do you click on those random links that come to your email? These are all small problems that we do that turn out to be very big impact on us at the end of the day. Study has shown that if we are able to address these basics, we call them hygiene, cybersecurity hygiene, if we're able to implement this basic cybersecurity hygiene, we actually reduce our threats by over 90%, you can imagine. Once we have done that, then the bigger picture of hackers who penetrate through firewalls, those are things that we can address at a more technical level. But you, at your personal level, make sure that you are first protecting yourself. We should not leave this responsibility with other people, with service providers, with your IT officer, with the police. Let's do our part to make sure that we are protected ourselves. When you're sure that you have done your part, then we can ask what other people are doing for us.
Thank you, Mr. Chagala. Emmanuel, my take home is that it is a collective responsibility.
Absolutely.
If we are going to manage this critical matter called the cybercrime. But of course, where we are as a country, you cannot avoid matters of technology. In fact, it's one of the key driving factors that Uganda looks up to when it comes to matters of Vision 2040. This is Fred Makuya, and this is the Coffee Court, where we drive your business.
All right, many thanks for being part of Business Today, and thank you very much for keeping it Smart 24 TV. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko with Winnie Williams and Akauchi on Sign Language. We've been coming to you live from Plot 42, Nile Avenue. We wish you a blessed night. Till tomorrow, we shall be bringing you more updates. Keep it Smart 24.